CVille Show, our last show of the week. This is the first day of August. Has the year not flown by? We are in 2025, and we're already in August, ladies and gentlemen. School in Central Virginia is anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks away from starting. How many parents, raise your hand wherever you're watching or listening to this program, whenever you're watching or listening to this program, raise your hand in the air if you're so excited for school to start and for the kiddos to get back in the classroom. Goodness gracious, we certainly are at the Miller House. A lot I want to cover on the program, boys and girls. I want to talk about the golden age of America. I want to talk about the golden age of the Charlottesville area. Is this time considered a golden age for our country and a golden age for our region? I think Judah and I are going to perhaps vastly disagree on this.
Vastly was the word I was thinking.
Vastly, Judah's already jumped in by saying vastly. On one side, people are going to say costs are up. Everything's more expensive. On that same side, people are going to say the quality of everything made is down. Some folks will highlight that everyone is cheapening out on pretty much every material and ingredient, that pretty much every industry is soulless and scamming us at all times, that customer service is outsourced. If it's not someone on the other end of the phone that's in a third world country, it's artificial intelligence taking your call. Some folks will say that crime is normalized in major cities because no one cares or stops. And folks may or may not attribute this to the lockdowns during COVID that made our country and perhaps our region exponentially worse than prior to the COVID period. I'm going to talk about this on today's show with Judah Wickower because I think our opinions on this topic may vastly differ, and I think that difference, that delta in viewpoint, will make for some good fodder for the talk show. A lot I want to cover on the program, ladies and gentlemen, including highlighting Michael Pruitt's $100,000 raised in 10 days for his push for the 5th District seat in Congress. We'll talk about Pruitt's run. We'll talk about the downtown mall voted the number 3 Main Street in the Commonwealth of Virginia. A lot I want to cover on the program, including a topic from yesterday, the upside and downside on advertising on Charlottesville area transit buses. So much to cover on the show. We'll highlight Charlottesville Sanitary Supply, friends of the program, partners of the program, Charlottesville Sanitary Supply, John Vermillion and Andrew Vermillion, the owners of Charlottesville Sanitary Supply. They're located on East High Street and online at charlottesvillesanitarysupply.com. The Vermillion family is 5 generations strong in Albemarle County. 5 generations strong for a wonderful Vermillion family. Support the businesses you want to see make it another 61 years like Charlottesville Sanitary Supply. Go in person and support locally owned and operated first, ladies and gentlemen, even if that means paying a little bit more because it's the local businesses that make this community better. Bill McChesney, welcome to the broadcast. Print, radio, and television, yet again, watching the broadcast. Lauren and Ivy, Georgia Gilmer, welcome to the broadcast. Mike Plecker, Keith Smith, Bob Shada, Michael Guthrie, Dave Warwick, Lloyd Snook, just to name a few. Tom Powell watching the show. Programming note, on the Friday edition of Real Talk with Keith Smith, 1 week from today, Scott Smith and Fred Missel will be in the house. A friendly debate, maybe coffee with the candidates is a better description. Both Smith and Missel are running for the Samuel Miller District seat, Albemarle County Board of Supervisors race. The only contested election in Albemarle County is Smith versus Missel, a Democrat versus Republican. Mark your calendars for 1 week from today, 10:15 a.m., Real Talk with Keith Smith. I also want to highlight this. We have multiple offices available for rent if you are interested. Offices downtown, offices in Albemarle County, offices in Central Virginia, ranging from $350 a month to $975 a month. Reach out to me, direct message, phone call, text message, email. You know how to get a hold of me if you need executive office space or commercial space altogether. Judah Wickower studio camera, and then a 2-shot as we weave cohort, colleague, as Stuart Scott would say, cooler than the other side of the pillow. Judah Wickower on the last day of the week, the Friday edition of the I Love CVille Show. Yesterday's program was fantastic. Got a lot of positive feedback on yesterday's program. You and I, friendly terms, verbally sparred a little bit on the 40-hour work week. I say it's a 60-hour work week. You stick with the 40-hour work week. That was a topic on yesterday's show. We encourage the viewers and listeners to watch the program wherever you get your social media content. I think today's show is going to have a similar dynamic. I'm going to ask this question. Are we currently living in the golden age of America? Are we currently living in the golden age of Charlottesville, Albemarle County, and Central Virginia? I want to have a friendly, somewhat debate-style discussion with you while we weave the viewer and listener into the show. Do you want to start this conversation, or should I set the table first? Your call on that.
Let's go ahead and have you set the table.
Okay, I'll flip the script here. I'm a glasses half full guy. I am a guy that is always looking for opportunity and upside. I think such is the nature of a libertarian-minded capitalist. I think that's how I most identify. My political party is the party of common sense. I'm a small business owner. I'm a capitalist. I'm a father of two. My wife holds our family together. I see opportunity everywhere. I'll flip the script. I think your argument should be of the following. I don't want to put words in your mouth. There's no question that the cost of everything in America, in Charlottesville, Albemarle, and Central Virginia, is more expensive than it's ever been. We went out, my wife and I, to a locally owned and operated pizzeria. My kids, my wife had an appetizer, large pizza. My wife and I had 2 beers apiece. I think the bill after tip was $100 for an appetizer, 1 topping pizza, and 4 beers. It was my wife and I, our 7-year-old son, and a 2.5-year-old. We're looking at sitting inside a restaurant, dining in the restaurant, a tab for $100 for pizza. The cost of everything is way up. The quality for a lot of things is down. It's hard to argue against that. Folks are having to cut corners because they need to make a profit to stay in business. Everyone is cheapening out on pretty much every material and ingredient. This is a meme that's circulating right now, ladies and gentlemen, that I'm reading from. Pretty much every industry is soulless and scamming us at all times. This is part of the meme that's going around. It's going viral. Customer service is outsourced and horrible. Here's a good example. My wife and I, we have a dentist appointment on August 7th. My wife has got the 8 a.m. slot. I have the 8:30 a.m. slot. We have 2 children. We did not realize when we were booking these cleanings that we booked them on the same day. And we're going to have to figure out, as many parents do, how we're going to baton, like a 4x100 relay team, our children when someone's at an 8 a.m. dental appointment and the next person has the 8:30 slot. What happens if the 8 a.m. cleaning goes long? What do we do with the kids while dad goes in for his cleaning at 8:30? We can't exactly leave a 2.5-year-old to be watched by a 7-year-old in a doctor's office, in a dental office. So my wife calls our dental office and says, look, I need to move this. And she's talking with someone who she thinks is a human being on the other side of the line. And the human being that's on the other side of the line is artificial intelligence. This is a locally owned and operated dental office, by the way. The person on the other side of the line was so genuine and nuanced as a human that it took literally toward the end of the conversation for my wife to realize that it was AI, that it was some kind of like, what would you call it there? Is it artificial intelligence? Is that what you would call it?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I since I wasn't there for the conversation.
So sophisticated
yeah.
and prompted with questions and how to respond. Timing, response, that she didn't realize it was not a human on the other line. So we can make a legitimate argument that customer service is outsourced and horrible. How about this? Crime is normalized in major cities because no one cares. And this meme that is going around says, this isn't the golden age of America or even close. Both political parties cannot gaslight me. The lockdowns made America worse, and both parties printed too much money. And as a result, we are in this case right now. That's, in a lot of ways, I think, the foundation of what your argument's going to be. I'm kind of flipping the script here. I may take a different take on this, but I'm going to ask the viewer and listener, is the meme correct? Is the meme that's circulating on social media, and we're localizing it to Central Virginia as well, that we are far from the golden age of America and far from the golden age of the Charlottesville area? Curious of your take on this, Judah Wickower.
I'm not. I'd have to look at the meme, but
I just read the meme to you, dude.
I know.
I literally just read the meme to you.
I know, but I'm sure it has pictures included.
There's no
too.
pictures. It's strictly
no
words.
pictures.
Strictly words.
Well, then it's not for me. Okay. I'm kidding, but I don't think that we're in the golden age.
Okay.
There certainly is a lot to offer in today's world, but I question what we've given up to get those things. I think that oftentimes we overlook a lot, and it is easy to look around and say, you know, we've got safer vehicles than we've ever had. We've got pretty much everybody has one of these. Even people. Let
them know, for those that are listening, what you're holding in your hand.
I'm holding in my hand a cell phone, and you can see everyone from you know, the CEO all the way down to the McDonald's worker, and even to unhoused individuals finding outdoor plugs in order to charge their phones. And those things are great, but I think we've sold a lot of our country and its soul to big corporations, and I think that is killing us.
Is this the golden age of Charlottesville? Is this the golden age of Albemarle County? Is this the golden age of Central Virginia? Is this the golden age of the United States of America? I try to localize it for the I Love CVille show because that's the premise of the program. A lot of people can make the argument that this may be the golden age for Charlottesville, Albemarle, and Central Virginia. Here's some talking points. Median home values for Charlottesville, Albemarle, and Central Virginia are at an all-time high. Real estate values for those that own real estate are at an all-time high. Real estate is strong. The job market in Charlottesville and Albemarle County in particular is strong.
Is it?
Is there diversity in what the job market is offering? Perhaps not. But the HUD median family household income continues to climb and is now at $125,800.
I think that was the last number I saw.
$125,800, the median family household income according to HUD in the greater Charlottesville area. If the HUD median family household income continues to climb, that, and we can make data points, we can interpret data points any way we want. We can present and position data points any way we want. I'm going to present it in a way where if families are making more money, then that's a positive. That's a positive. Charlottesville continues to be one of the most coveted places to live in the country. We're about to discuss on this show that the downtown mall in Charlottesville was voted the number 3 best main street in all of the Commonwealth of VA, the downtown mall. I can highlight the University of Virginia. Goodness gracious, the Princeton Review. The Princeton Review just gave number 1 accolades to the School of Law, number 1 in quality of life in the 2025 Princeton Review, the UVA School of Law. I can highlight the Princeton Review, highlighting the Darden School, the number 1 for best professors, the number 1 for best management MBA, the Darden School. I can highlight the growing applicants that want to come to Charlottesville, to want to come to the University of Virginia to study, to learn. I can highlight the data science school that's being created thanks to Jaffrey Woodruff's contribution. The Paul Manning Biotech Institute that's being created thanks to Paul Manning's contribution. I can highlight the growing and booming and birthing biotechnology sector, the growing, the booming, the birthing data science sector. I can highlight the fact that all these different little niches of our economy, the defense sector, the hospitality, in particular, wedding and events sector, strong. All these things, I can make a legitimate argument that this could be a golden age for Charlottesville. Unemployment is low. Home values are up. Household income is up. Savings is up. Crime is down in Charlottesville. Talk to Chief Kochis, talk to Joe Plantania, Colonel Reeves of Albemarle County, Tim Longo. Since Kochis has gotten on the job, crime is down. It's no secret since Mike Kochis, I hope Chief Kochis hears this. I hope Chief Kochis hears this. Since Chief Kochis has gotten on the job in Charlottesville, we've had a turning point in crime. Is it still present? Yes. But was it present like pre-Mike Kochis, before Mike Kochis? Absolutely not. Why isn't this the golden age of Charlottesville, Judah? Why isn't this the golden age of Albemarle County, Judah? Why isn't this the golden age of Central Virginia, Judah? And viewers and listeners, let us know your thoughts. We'll put them in the feed. We'll relay them live on air. We're equal opportunity employers as it applies to your commentary. We want to be the water cooler of conversation. If you disagree with me, put it in the feed. I'll relay it live on air. Judah, go.
Is the low unemployment rate due to everybody getting jobs, or is it due to people no longer looking or leaving the area for better opportunities? I think, like you mentioned, it's very easy to interpret the information how you want to. The rising median family income is that proof that the rising tide is lifting everyone up, or just that do we have more people making more money raising that number up, or do we also, as I mentioned before, do we have low income people being forced out of the area? I don't know that that number tells a coherent story without more information.
I appreciate that comment. If I was in your shoes and I was making the argument that you were trying to make, I would say this. This is what I would do if I were you, Judah Wickower. And I would try to combat Jerry Miller's argument here about this not being the golden age of Charlottesville and Albemarle County. I would say, Jerry, yes, the median family household income is up. Of course it's up. Since COVID, Charlottesville and Albemarle County have become an epicenter for hybrid and remote work. And since COVID, Charlottesville and Albemarle County have had nomads, carpetbaggers, Yankees, and any Tom, Dick, and Harry, any Kelsey, Louise, and Michelle that can work from an internet service provider while employed by a big city firm earning deep six-figure incomes, maybe seven-figure incomes, maybe eight-figure incomes while living in Charlottesville. That's why the median family household income is up. That's why real estate median values are up. That's why the unemployment numbers are up. And if I was you and I was trying to counteract or counterpoint my argument, I would say what's happened since COVID is a mass influx of wealthy and a mass outflux of blue-collar and financially margined individuals. And if I was you trying to counter my point, I would say that's not the golden age. That's not diversity of thought. That's not a gambit of workforce that you need for a healthy economy. That's how I would counter my argument. And if you counter my argument in that capacity, I would say, goodness gracious, you're making very good points here. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and life is this funny thing that we live. The same set of KPIs, key performance indicators, can materialize in the world or take place in the world. And some folks see the KPIs through one lens and the opportunity that's presented there, and other folks can see it through a completely different lens and the disadvantages that they present. I see this crime down, disposable income up, the number one asset in our portfolio, our homes, jumping in value over the last 5 years. All of us earning potentially more money, a coveted place where people are still trying to move to, the primary source of the economy, the university opening 2 new schools, data science and Paul Manning Biotech Institute, that are all coming online now. And I see a bull market ahead for Charlottesville, Albemarle, and Central Virginia. Do I understand the position that you made so eloquently, that the influx of people has caused an outflux of old guard Charlottesville? Yes, I do. Do I understand the position that you made so eloquently, that as this influx of people comes in, the old guard that goes out, there's a lot of people that have to figure out this transitionary period? Yes, I do. But that's Darwinism. That's survival of the fittest.
So you're saying that the area may have imposed some problems for some people, but for the people that are able to afford to remain here, it's better than ever.
100%.
That's fair too.
100%. You got a mayor that's about to take over, ladies and gentlemen. Not about to take over. There's a mayor in New York City, the front runner to be the mayor of the Big Apple, is a proclaimed, self-proclaimed, balls-to-the-wall socialist. A lot of people don't realize this. New York City, Manhattan, 20,000 people, 25,000 people are carrying a large portion of the tax weight of the Big Apple. And if this socialist mayor goes after with headwinds and red tape and financial tax hurdles for that base of taxpayers, 20, 25, 30,000 people, the money that New York City relies upon from its wealthy class will, without question, impact the infrastructure and the services provided to the most important city in the world. The Big Apple is facing right now, if this socialist mayor gets into office, a lot of down the road problems with crime, infrastructure, rent control, services provided. Here in Charlottesville, we have our own political headaches. This new zoning ordinance has been an absolute debacle. We have a turnstile in City Hall with positions. How many city managers have we had? How many city attorneys have we had? You see that the city councilors don't really have much power, ladies and gentlemen, because if they do, they probably wouldn't have had this third-party law firm, Gentry Locke, F up the new zoning ordinance. That was a debacle.
Yeah.
But when it's all said and done, what we have here in Charlottesville is a somewhat functional government that's operating in the background, behind the scenes, with a sense of boring clip that's not in the headlines. Why don't we call this the golden age of Charlottesville? Is it just me that sees opportunity everywhere? I'm curious of what you take, viewers and listeners. Bill McChesney says this, his photo on screen. He says it's not the golden age because the city governance of Charlottesville hoards the gold and wastes it. Georgia Gilmer watching the program. She says her photo on screen. The golden age was defined as a period of peace, prosperity, stability, and harmony, or something like that. In my opinion, not our current status. I will ask Georgia Gilmer, who I have tremendous respect for. Her photo on screen, please. Georgia, why in the Charlottesville, Albemarle, and Central Virginia area do we not have peace? Do we not have prosperity? Do we not have stability? And why do we not have harmony? I'll ask you, Judah Wickhauer.
I can see what she's saying.
Okay, then make the argument for her.
I think in terms of peace and harmony, you've got one side of the political aisle here. The other side is entirely unrepresented. I think that's the case across the country, where a lot of areas, I mean, definitely there are purple areas, but in terms of discussion, in terms of reaching across the aisle, I think we're at a more fractious period than there's been in a long time.
I 100% give you that. One party is dominating Charlottesville and Albemarle County. Okay, one party is dominating. But what is that one party doing? I don't agree with what the Democrats are doing in Charlottesville and Albemarle County. They're spend, and spend some more. They are create projects now and create cash expenses now and figure out down the road how to figure out how to fund those projects. It doesn't make sense. No business owner would run it that way. But you legitimately in Manhattan have a socialist that's going to be named mayor. That's going to absolutely cause an influx of its wealthy tax base, and it's going to impact services and infrastructure in Manhattan to a level that Manhattan has not seen maybe in a very long time, maybe since Giuliani took over as mayor and had to clean up Manhattan streets. Vanessa Parkhill says, Charlottesville, Jerry, is about to have its own socialist mayor, potentially, Michael Payne. I think Michael Payne's going to be the mayor come January. Judah Wickhauer thinks it's Natalie Ostrin. We have a $75 bottle of Macallan 12 on the line. He says Ostrin, I say Payne. If Payne is voted by councilors, it's not a populist vote. It's the councilors that determine in January. If Payne is voted mayor, I win. And Payne is a socialist. The reality is in Charlottesville, council and the mayor in particular, it's a weak form of government. Council and the mayor are figureheads.
Okay.
It's City Hall that's running the shop. It's Sanders that's running a shop. It's his lieutenants that are running the shop. How do we not have peace, prosperity, stability, and harmony right now in Charlottesville? Who fears for their lives when walking down the street? Are we concerned with the houseless population in the downtown mall? Yes. Do we really fear for our life because of it?
I don't.
I don't. Do you not have peace in your life?
For the most part.
Prosperity and harmony in your life?
To some degree or another.
Okay. Tell me why this isn't the golden age of Charlottesville, Albemarle, and Central Virginia. Now, I'm able to make that position or that argument from, my personal lens and my personal platform and what we have here. Mm-hmm. But if you're willing to put the time and the effort and work hard and figure things out, why is this not the golden age of Charlottesville, Albemarle, and Central Virginia?
I mean, the cost of living, again, it may be, from a certain perspective, it perhaps is. For a certain portion, certain
demographic of people.
Yeah,
is what you're saying.
It is. It may be. I mean, it's a great place to live. It's green. It's beautiful most of the time. It may lack a few things, but no place is going to have everything that you want. And Charlottesville does pretty well. But again, it's not necessarily that place for everyone, especially if you're being pushed out.
Georgia Gilmer. As to why we aren't in a golden age, how about this, Jerry? Activists equals not peace. High cost of living equals not prosperity. Cancel culture equals not harmony. Those are her examples.
No, those are fair.
Conversation for your cocktail party this weekend. I see so much upside.
Yeah. I'm not saying there's not upside.
I see a university that's, while it's got some serious issues, stronger than ever.
Yeah.
I see an economy that's growing. I see a defense sector that's focused on Charlottesville. I see a tourism industry that's growing. The real estate market's got some headwinds right now, but it's staying strong. Small business is strong in most categories and sectors. Very difficult for someone to convince me that we're not in a golden age right now. Is your retirement portfolio, viewers and listeners, not up? Are your stock and equity positions not up? Goodness gracious, look at what's happened, and this is not about politics. Look at what's happened since Trump has taken office with the stock market. This isn't about pro-Trump. This isn't about no Trump. I don't make this about politics here. Are you not up substantially, viewers and listeners, with your 401ks and your retirement accounts? Your stock and equity positions? Substantially, you're up. Aren't we seeing inflation starting to drop? What happens when Powell cuts rates? John Blair's photo on screen. Jerry, fantastic discussion between you and Judah about whether this is a golden age. I think the area is simply a reflection of the country. The top 10% of America is booming. It's never been greater for the top 10%.
Yeah.
Given that Charlottesville and Albemarle have a higher percentage of the top 10% of America in terms of wealth, it is doing super well. But the other 90% in America are having a less than golden age. It's even more amplified in Charlottesville with activism in our area with so many residents in the top 10% of America in terms of wealth.
Very well put.
Extremely well put. We want these comments. Very well put by John.
And again, I think, yeah, he's hit it spot on. It is a great place for people that can afford it. If you can't, if you're being pushed out, for, like he said, 90% of the population, it may not be a golden age. It may be tough to find a job. It may be tough to find housing. I hear all the time people asking, where can I find an affordable rental? I don't know if they exist anymore. I don't know if they exist. I mean, I'm sure they exist somewhere. But Charlottesville, for someone who's not in that top bracket, is a really tough place to make it work.
The Queen of Earlysville says, Councilor Michael Payne is a smart guy. I think he truly wants to do good for the community. Mm-hmm. I don't think the policies he supports will be good for the community, however. There's some truth to that, Vanessa, at least from my vantage point. But what I've realized in my 25 years of being here, the city council has such little actual influence. Outside of Nakia Walker, when she was the mayor and a councilor, I've never really seen a councilor have a truly damning impact on Charlottesville.
I mean, you wouldn't consider the NZO part of that?
The new zoning ordinance has yielded nothing. We haven't seen anything with. The only thing the new zoning ordinance has yielded is an elevated real estate market.
But it's, you can't deny it's had a massive effect. I mean, we've been following the.
What's the impact that NZO really has had at this point? There's not any projects that have materialized.
We've been talking.
It's made dirt more expensive.
We've been talking about about the cost to businesses waiting to find out how the zoning ordinance is gonna play out.
Yeah, it's made the dirt more opportunistic, and if anything, it's just quicksand development. It's had the opposite impact of creating progress. It's made dirt opportunistic, which has made it more expensive. And because it's clouded in this lawsuit, nothing has materialized from it.
Okay. You can't say that that's. Can you say that that's not an effect?
You're saying the fact that it's had no effect is an effect, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm also you're also laying out this, that, and the other. Those are all byproducts of the new zoning ordinance, which came about because of the city council.
This is what I'd like for the viewers and listeners to do this weekend at your cocktail party, at your cookout, your grill out. Ask your neighbors, your friends, and your family. Ask them this question. It's a conversation starter for you. Is this, in your opinion, a golden age for Charlottesville and for Albemarle County? And then ask them, is this, in your opinion, a golden age for our country? Golden age from our country. Our retirement portfolios are sky high. Stock market earlier this week, record highs.
Every week.
Record highs.
Record high.
Record highs. That wasn't the case when Biden was in office. That wasn't the case in the beginning of Trump's term. This isn't about Trump. Our homes, most people's number one asset, sky high value. Mm-hmm. Unemployment, low. Crime around here? What? What crime? Around here. What crime? Around here.
There is crime. It's just, yeah. I lived in Los Angeles
Yeah.
for years.
What crime?
I walked through South Central at 3 o'clock in the morning.
My point. You get it.
I came to Charlottesville. And,
You're like, this is
and
Mayberry.
I look at neighbors who, I never see their kids outside. I'm like, when I was a kid, I was all over the place. But some people just don't have the
Perspective.
The same perspective, yeah.
Yeah. What crime? Everyone's going to look at this answer differently.
Yeah.
And that's how we're wired as people. Good conversation for you this weekend. All right, 1:11 marker. I got a pretty busy afternoon here. I'm going to ask you after yesterday's show, if you put the lower third on screen, did you give some thought to the value proposition of advertising on the Charlottesville buses? We talked about it yesterday. Charlottesville Area Transit, City Hall, is basically, they have a request for proposal out, and they're looking to partner with a third party. And let's give some love to somebody who I think would be really good at this. Conan Owen of Sir Speedy of Central Virginia. Conan Owen is the CEO and owner of Sir Speedy of Central Virginia. Locally owned and operated. He's a Darden graduate. If you have a logo and you need awareness or an application for that logo to scale in subcapacity, Conan Owen of Sir Speedy of Central Virginia can help you do that. He would be a good guy for them to potentially partner with. We would be a phenomenal firm for Charlottesville Area Transit to partner with. I don't see the value proposition of it. They're willing to give the third party 35% of the ad placement revenue. So basically what they're looking for, City Hall, is a sales rep that's commission only. They're not going to pay them a base pay. They're not going to pay the firm a base pay. They're not going to give any kind of the bells and whistles. They're just going to say, you eat what you kill. 35% of what you kill, you eat.
Yeah.
That's what City Hall is saying for the ad placements on the buses. Have you given this some thought after yesterday's show? I made a link, and you pushed back on me. The advertising on the city buses is akin to the entrepreneur who came into my office years ago and says, I'm launching a business for putting branding and advertising on the trash cans that homeowners take to the driveway on Mondays or Tuesdays or Wednesdays or Thursday mornings, and a truck comes up and picks up their trash. And I said, you want to co-brand businesses with waste? You want to co-brand businesses with people's trash? And I said it to him just like that. You're telling me you want to build a business where you're co-branding small business owners and their limited advertising budget with human waste? And he looked at me like this. It was his aha moment.
I wouldn't call it human waste.
Well, yeah, I guess if you put it that way, that's what I'm going to do. The plan never materialized. Go to a bank or hard money lender or somebody like me and put them a business model or a deck saying, I want to create a business around branding small businesses with human waste. I love the idea of the tabletops at like Riverside Burger or the placemats at like Tip Top, where you get the placemat or the tabletop at Riverside Burger and you see local advertisements on them. I look at them, I read them. It's no different than a Facebook boosted post in a news feed or the billboards on High Street when you drive by them or the branding that you see in the bottom of this show or on screen while watching the program. But I put the advertising on the buses in the same category as advertising on trash cans. Wow. You disagree?
Yeah, I disagree.
Make the argument. You see value with it.
Yeah, you've got buses that are driving around the city all day long, almost every day, apparently not on Sundays. And
will they need $8 million to get the Sunday routes up and running again?
Apparently. And that's a lot of real estate. The side of a bus is people are going to see that, whether they're walking, driving. I would argue even more than some of the other advertising you mentioned. The placemats at Tip Top or the tabletops at Riverside. Those are, they see a certain amount of traffic, but a bus going around the city, that's going to be seen by most everyone at some point or another if you're traveling during the day. And I'm not sure why you think that people associate the advertisement with the place where it's advertised, whether it's the side of a trash can or the side of a bus.
So you don't think there's an association with advertising in National Enquirer magazine and the advertisers that place their messaging in National Enquirer magazine?
That's completely different because that's going to be targeted at the type of person who looks at the magazine.
And you don't think a bus is going to be targeted to the type of people that see and think of a bus subconsciously or consciously? Okay, let me
think of a bus. I don't know what you're saying.
I'm not sure what you don't understand. There's a bus that goes around Charlottesville.
Yeah, and
the bus that goes around Charlottesville has ad placements on the bus.
Yeah.
That says, if you want your logo here, call this phone number or visit this website.
Okay.
And the buses that went around Charlottesville all in 2024 that says, if you want your ad here, call this phone number or visit this website, all Charlottesville City Hall could generate was $5,000 plus in ad revenue for their buses.
Okay, but that doesn't say anything about advertising on buses.
So you're going to make the argument that says more about the infrastructure City Hall has in place for people that call that phone number or fill out the contact form on the URL provided on the bus?
Potentially. We don't really have the context or the answer for that.
We manage advertising for clients. Would you, with a client who has limited ad dollars, where would you put advertising on the bus in the pecking order of return on investment for the client?
I don't have the information to answer that question.
It's a talk show, Judah.
I don't have...
You worked in advertising for 15 years. If you don't have the answer to this question, if you don't have the answer to this...
That's unfair, Jerry.
It's not unfair.
Yes, it is.
I'm having a conversation with you, literally for a talk show, and you won't give us... This is what people pay us for. If somebody came in and they sat at a table with us on Monday and said, Jerry and Judah, Miller organization team, we have $12,000, $1,000 a month to advertise and want return on investment for our business. What would you say when a client asks you, what is the best spend of my $1,000 a month?
For a client like that, probably not putting their logo on the side of a bus.
Okay. If the client says, I have $2,000 a month, which is getting to the point, $3,000 a month. There's very few businesses, small businesses, as you know, that can afford a $3,000 a month advertising budget.
Okay.
Right? We know this, right?
Okay.
Very few small mom and pop businesses that can afford
I'm sure that there are next to none that are...
No, there's more than next to none. Okay, we know who a lot of them are. Where would you say advertising in the bus stacks up?
For small business, I would say it's pretty low on the totem pole.
Right. And why is that?
Because they don't have much money.
Because we know that there's other applications that yield much better ROI.
Okay.
A $50 spend on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn or Google Ads, X, goes way further and is way trackable, more trackable. And how the city's positioning it where they're only going to give a third party 35% of what they kill it's insulting. It should be the other way around. Give the third party 65% and the city keeps 35%.
Wow.
No one in their right mind with any talent or skill would take a job or to work of where they're only getting 35% of their effort. That's what they're saying. We're not going to give you base. We're not going to compensate you in any capacity besides 35% of what you close. And we're going to ask you to monetize a bus that last year generated $5,700 in revenue.
All right.
Think about what they're, just the viewers and listeners. Who would do that with talent? Who with talent would do that? 121 marker. A couple of other headlines we got. What else do we have there?
Let's see. CVille's downtown mall, actually Main Street, voted number 3 in Main Streets in Virginia.
Another reason I think it's a golden age, right? I'd say this is a positive story, right?
Yeah, that's pretty positive.
What's not positive? Why is this not extremely positive? Why is it just pretty positive?
Okay, it's pretty positive. It's
Why-
very
why
positive. It's 100% positive.
The third best main street in all of Virginia for
Yeah.
Charlottesville.
Mm-hmm.
Behind only, was it Abingdon?
Yeah, Abingdon and...
Alexandria?
let's see. Yeah, I think that's it.
Charlottesville's voted, and who voted this?
Oh, let's see. It's Assisted Living Magazine. 100 Best Main Streets in the U.S. to Walk.
Assisted Living Magazine. What a magazine there. Assisted Living Magazine.
Mm-hmm.
Votes Charlottesville the third best main street in all of Virginia. We have an abundance of riches here. An abundance of riches. If people see it outside the area, we just don't see it inside the area because we're living here. It's like when you're so in the situation, you don't appreciate the situation.
That is often the case.
The old E-Myth Mastery, one of the most impactful books I've ever read as a business owner, is E-Myth Mastery. And the whole premise is work on your business instead of in your business. Next headline. Any more we got?
Let's see. Pruitt's doing well in his campaign.
Goodness gracious, did he come out of the gates, huh?
No doubt.
$100,000 from Michael Pruitt?
Yeah. 10 grand a day. 10 days to raise 100 grand.
Unbelievable, Michael Pruitt. Props to you.
On top of the fact that I believe a large proportion of that $100
Or micro donations.
$100,000 is from smaller people, smaller donators.
Micro donations from Michael Pruitt, $100,000 in the first 10 days for his push for Congress.
Mm-hmm.
Goodness gracious, job well done from Mike Pruitt.
No doubt.
Don't always see eye to eye, and goodness gracious, Mike Pruitt, when you're running for Congress, you're running for Congress. My friend, I would not mention rent control in any capacity whatsoever. If you want a shot at winning, do not, Mike Pruitt, in any capacity, mention rent control. Do you think Mike Pruitt has a chance to win?
Yeah, I think he's got a chance. I think the 90% of the contributions coming from donations of $100 or less shows that he's got broad support. He's not just getting one or two large donations from rich people or corporations, looking at who his potential Republican opponents will be. Bob Good and McGuire are fighting it out in their own primary.
Janice Boyce Trevelyan says, we were here downtown Charlottesville and we were not impressed last week with family from out of town. She says, what is 1 and 2 for the best main streets in Virginia? Arlington and Abington, is that 1 and 2?
Yeah, let's see. It's what do we got? King Street in Alexandria.
Or Alexandria, sorry. I apologize.
53rd nationally, number 1 in the Commonwealth, and West Main Street in Abingdon is 90th nationally, and number 2 in Virginia.
And Charlottesville's what?
Let's see.
3 in Virginia and what nationally?
Let me find that. Give me a second.
Well, it's deep down there. Regardless, it's an abundance of riches. Congratulations to Pruitt for $100,000 in the first 10 days. That's impressive, Michael Pruitt. I'll close with this. A week from today at 10:15 a.m. On Real Talk with Keith Smith, Scott Smith and Fred Missel, 2 candidates for the Samuel Miller District, will be in the studio. Please mark it on your calendar. I think it's going to be an informative question and answer session. The Friday edition of the I Love CVille Show we just completed. It is the 1st of August. And I'll close with this. I'm sincerely grateful for the viewers and listeners for watching the show.
Charlottesville is 65th nationally.
6'5"? 65th nationally. Thank you. Judah does a great job. When we go back and forth spar-wise, it's for a talk show. I sincerely mean that. I think Judah does excellent work here. Thank you kindly for joining us on the Friday show. Enjoy your weekend. When you're out and about, ask the folks you're with, would you call this the golden age of Charlottesville and Albemarle County? And would you call this a golden age of the United States of America? Curious what people say. So long, everybody.